Alright, what's up guys? My name is Andy, but you're gonna address me as Master. Why? Because I'm gonna teach you all the components of a computer in just a few steps. I'm gonna make it easy, I'm gonna make it simple, I'm not gonna take a lot of your time. We're just gonna go right into the meat and bones of it, and we're just gonna get you right into it. Because I want as many people as possible to know what a computer is, what it does, and what the components are. Because computers are good. So we're gonna start off with our case. The main function of a case is to keep all of your computer parts inside and well organized. Usually it looks like a box. Some tech companies like to get a little creative and they make, I don't know, like triangle cases and sphere cases, I don't know. But most of the time you're gonna see this. Okay, so the first component that we're going to talk about inside the computer is going to be the motherboard. All computers have motherboards. This is the skeleton of the computer. Without a skeleton, nothing can be held together, just like humans. So, you know, the main function of this is to keep all of the components inside and running and all working together. Usually motherboards would have a CPU slot, a PCIe Express slot, a RAM slot, and I think that's about it. Now we're going to talk about is the RAM. The full name of the RAM is a random access memory. Its purpose is to keep all the temporary information on this stick, so your processor can reach it quickly. So basically, it's all the temporary files and information that you have on your computer. Like if you go to Google or YouTube, like this is where that information will be stored, so you can access it quickly. Usually in the motherboard, it will have its own slots. In order to take it out, you just push these buttons in here, take it out, and there it is. Mostly looks like a stick most of the time. And that's RAM. The next component that we're going to talk about will be the GPU, the graphics processing unit. Its main purpose is to render images using fast math, and nobody likes math, so it does it for you. Usually it would go on the PCIe Express slot on the motherboard, which mostly all motherboard have. And our sample graphics card is right here. We'll just take it out. It's basically just a large chip. Just a little tour. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the CPU, a central processing unit. The brains of the computer. This is where all the input is being processed. This is where the computer does all the tasks, all the inputs that you, the person, puts. Processors usually get very hot, like extremely hot, so they need their own cooling system to support, just to support that. So right here, this is a cooling system. It'll usually look like, you know, like a box. I'm just gonna put this out. It's a fan, nothing fancy. These are special cooling fans just for processors. That's why it has this large, like, grill. All right, now we're gonna go and take a little closer look at the processor, which is right here. Usually it will be a chip. It will look like this, like a steel Cheez-It. These are all the pins that are connected there. All right, usually you would put them there. You would pull this apart and then pull it out. You will need thermal paste to connect the processor onto the cooling fan, so you can stick together. The next part that we're going to talk about is the HDD, or in other words, the hard disk drive. This is where you store your information. This is where you store your operating system, and basically anything that has to do with storage besides the RAM or any temporary information, it will usually go to the hard disk drive. A hard drive is a very important piece. Can't sleep on it. This is where most of your information goes. So if something happens to your hard drive, you know, you're gonna lose all your information. Most computers are able to hold up to 2 or 3, depending on how many SATA cables they have. Okay, most hard drives are gonna look like this, rectangular, very large, like a brick. There's also another alternative, which is the SSD, which is a solid state drive. It's way smaller, it's way faster, and it's also way more compact. Difference between a hard drive and a solid state drive is that the hard drive it's bigger and it's mechanical. It processes its things mechanically, rather than the solid state drive where it processes its things digitally. I wish I can show you one now, but on the screen you're gonna see how a SSD usually looks like, so you can so you can compare. It's way smaller, it's more efficient, and it's the future. Next thing we're going to talk about, power supply. Power supply is the main power source for your computer. This is what energizes your computer. This is what outputs all the energy onto your computer. You can rephrase it in any other way. At the end of the day, that's its main function. It gives power to your computer. I'm not gonna take this one out, so I'm just gonna show you one that I already have out. Most of the time it's gonna look big and bricky like this. Has a large fan, because these power supplies get hot as well. They have cables. Usually this would be the cable to power up your motherboard. This would be for your CPU, usually is like 4 pins. 6 pins usually for graphics cards. 8 sometimes when it's high-end graphics cards. And these cables are for like peripherals. Like this is for your hard drive, this is for your SATA cable, this would go for lights, etc. We're gonna do a little recap on everything that we talked about today. So motherboard, it's right here. Skeleton of the computer. Processor, it will go right here. Brains of the computer. Graphics cards, go right here in the PCIe Express slot. We can just say that's the imagination of the computer. Power supply, part of the computer. Hard drive, memory of the computer. RAM, let's say the attention span of the computer, short-term memory for the computer. Alright, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.